It was Wednesday, and just before the time people were expected in church. The parking lot was already full of cars, and most people had taken their seats to avoid standing through the teaching period. Those who were around the previous week invited others, causing an overflow, which Pastor David least expected, though he had told the team that, should the number increase further, they would have to do something about it. Some had suggested looking for a new venue specifically for the Bible study, but the problem was not only the Bible study, there was also a ripple effect on the Sunday service. It was clear they had a challenge of space just before the ministry took shape. Pastor David had emphatically told the team that he would not do anything without God saying so, because he had seen where pastors become emotional about growth that they began to apply carnal solutions to spiritual problems, causing damage to the move of God. He was instructing some members to bring out some chairs to set them around the unoccupied space within the church when Charles came closer with a man beside him. "Pastor, I'd like you to meet with Tom Piken. Mr. Piken, meet my Pastor David," he introduced, as the two men shook hands. "Pleased to meet you, Mr. Piken," Pastor David said. "And what do you do?" he continued. "Please call me Tom, Pastor David. I am into a little of this and that," he said. He always tries to keep his line of business away, especially in a first meeting. "Okay, Tom," Pastor David said, excusing himself to get the study started. The pastor prayed as usual and his wife sang some hymns which were chorused by the members who knew the hymns. Though she made the effort to have the hymns printed so that everyone could follow, but it was clear that it was not enough, so the older members gave theirs to the newcomers. After the hymn section, Pastor David took the stage and began to read Matthew chapter 24 to the end. I want to begin today's lesson on the need to enlighten you concerning end-time events. Last week I spoke on my out-of-the-body experience and how the Lord told me to prepare His people for His coming. There was a stir especially among the newcomers, who must have thought it strange to have an out-of-the-body experience. If you need that particular message, you can meet Mrs. Bain and get your copy. She is in charge of the CDs. "Can you stand so that they know who you are, Mrs. Bain?" he said, pointing his finger towards her. "The Lord has really blessed us with a team of brothers and sisters that comes around to assist through the week, and I must say, I am really humbled," he said and turned to the Bible. I wanted to start with the series 1 plan to begin with, but it will make no sense unless I let you know what the term end time is all about. Jesus told his disciples when they came to him to inquire about what the signs of the time of his return would be, and of the end of the world. He told them to be careful lest they be deceived. Deception is the rule of the game, and that is what I want to take time to begin to break down in our classes, he said, looking around as though expecting a question from someone, then continued. The plans the demons outlined in my vision were to use the following areas of human endeavors to make serving God difficult for the saints in these last days. First of all, they had democracy in government, then economy, education, media, family, technology, and religion. You might be asking, what has all this got to do with end-time events? Well, it has everything to do with it. Open with me to Isaiah chapter 9 verse 6. He said, opening his Bible, and those who were there opened their own, making the sound of paper rustling through the whole church. Others opened theirs on their phone. It reads, "For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder. And his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace." You can see that it was written that the government shall be upon his shoulder. Do you know that the Jews were disappointed in Jesus because they expected him to come with a government that will restore the kingdom to Israel, but when he died, they concluded that could not be the Messiah, and that is why up till today, they are waiting for the Messiah, who will bring them peace. Pastor David looked around again before he continued. So it is about government, and the devil and his demons have planned a system of government that will help them rule the world under the term the New World Order, and democracy is their ticket to achieving it. Where power will be given to the majority, and you know that broad is the way that leads to destruction. Majority in this case will lead the world to a chaotic situation just as we are seeing it today, where policies are influenced by the government, which has a direct or indirect effect on us all. We are going to see more of these things making the way of the Lord very difficult. Pastor David went ahead to elaborate on the effect of democracy and its direct and indirect effects on the church and the Word of God. At the end of his teaching, he allowed people to ask questions, then allowed those that wants to meet with the Lord, and more than the previous week, so many responded. There was a man in particular that caught the attention of Charles. His build, height, and the way he walked made the hair on the head of Charles stand out in fear. Could that be John? Charles thought, but when the man turned in his direction, he saw a different face altogether and relaxed.